This is Nancy Newhart at Allegheny Highlands Arts and Crafts Center in Clifton Forward, Virginia. We're here with Dyke Wood, who is the artist of this fabulous exhibit that's full of color and energy, and we're just going to talk about a couple of things.
Okay.
So tell me about where this one came from, because it's so different.
Well, I was with doing painting. I wanted to do something different that just didn't include a brush, and I love texture.
I noticed that.
Yeah, to me, sometimes with a brush, it's real simple for me. So I do something with texture that I think is a little different. And this was a shawl or a sweater that belonged to my wife, and I noticed it looked like it was flowers. So I just thought I would cut the flowers out and attach them to the canvas, and then put the flower pot in the background on the Roanoke Times
I
newspaper.
Noted, and a lot of the sports page. So I mean, that's some of the things you're interested in too. Because
well,
I got
I didn't really know. I just didn't want any pictures, newspaper pictures in it. I just wanted the black and white background.
You graduated from Patrick Henry. You went to Hampton University for a while.
I did. And
then you went to work for the railroad, or as they say in Roanoke, Norfolk Southern. Right. Because that is the railroad there.
That's right. It was Norfolk and Western.
Norfolk and Western at that point.
When I originally hired, then they merged with Southern and became Norfolk Southern. And I kind of got away from the painting because of the crazy hours I worked. And it's one thing about when I start a piece, I stay there for days and work on it for days. That's one reason I like working in acrylics. It dries quicker, and I can continue to work. Sometimes for 2 or 3 days, I'll just work on a piece, put on a little raggedy t-shirt and a pair of shorts and just work on it for an hour or two, go sit down, take a break, go right back to it. And but for years, I did very little because for 38 years, I worked with the railroad. A great majority of that time, I was at the other end of the road. You can't pack a bag. You know, you get on a train with your art supplies. Right. So I spent a lot of time in a motel, over half of my life in a motel room. So when I got home, they'd only give you 8 or 10 hours rest.
That's not enough time for you.
Right, and they could call you right back to work. So I just really didn't get started with anything. I'm a very impatient person. You know, I want it done yesterday. And,
but you're so patient with so many things in the paintings that I just find that an interesting juxtaposition.
Well, with me, sometimes I say, well, gosh, did I spend enough time on this? Because in the beginning, the paintings were just rolling off. Just once I finished one, I got right into something else, and it really didn't take me that long to paint them. As far as my time went, I just stayed focused. And
you started painting in school.
Right, in middle school.
Okay.
Really painting in middle school.
And you went to?
I went to
Breckenridge?
Breckenridge Junior High.
Okay.
Then I went to Addison, and then went to Patrick Henry.
Okay.
And that's basically where I got most of did most of my learning with those art. Mr. Sands, Miss Vest, and Miss Booth. I'm
so amazed that so few people remember high school teachers' names, but they obviously had a great impact on you.
Oh, they did, because it was a trying times. It was doing integration, and a lot of other stuff was going on, and this was my escape, really, from all the other stuff that was going on around me.
So this piece is called Protest, and I know you must have done it somewhat recently.
I did.
Simply by the subject matter that's there and the impact. I also know you did one of the letters on the street in front of the municipal building.
Correct.
And I think this piece is really powerful. So do you mind telling me a little bit about how it came to be?
Well, it happened around the time of the George Floyd incident. And sometimes you don't realize how kind of uneven things are until you look at some of the statistics about, some of the blacks with guns getting killed, and white people with guns seeming to walk away. And I understood what the protest was about, and it just gave me. I kind of steered clear of this stuff because I don't have white friends, I don't have black friends. I have friends that happen to be black or white. So most of the time these are private thoughts. This is the first time I probably really put a private thought on canvas.
It's really powerful.
And it was so, I didn't know how controversial it would be, because, you know, I see it as one thing and somebody else would see it as something else. I try not to discuss politics and religion with other people, because we all have our personal thoughts, and I don't think that should be something that should stand in the way of us being friends. And a lot of times in this day and time, it does.
It does. You know, and it's to me, it's a piece that you could look at and think about for a long time, and it has a really profound effect. So thank you for doing it.
Yeah, the red, white, and blue, sometimes when it comes to a black person, the colors don't seem to shine as bright.
Okay, this triptych, which is a painting in 3 parts, is called Phonograph. And you and I are both of the right age to remember phonographs and the speakers that came out on the side and stuff. But tell me how you've done the texture on these.
It was gesso.
Okay.
That normally they cover naked screens with when they paint them before they paint on them. I took gesso and a tool and just sculpted the gesso after I put it on top of the canvas, and then just painted certain sections and certain colors.
Okay.
And of course I put them all 3 together when I originally did the gesso. So when I separate them, you can see they kind of fit together like a puzzle.
And it's like, you know, the old thing with speakers where the sound would go from the left speaker to the right speaker. Correct. And back again.
That's right. And this is an album, and that's a 45. I wonder if people remember the...
I was thinking turntable.
Well, this is like a turn. It's sitting on like the turntable. And this is like a radio where, you know, when you move the old radio, you move the knobs and the bar would go according to the...
oh yeah, that's right, that's right. So it's a wonderful nostalgic piece, but it's so contemporary looking. And I love the fact that it's that black, gold, and white, and man, that's a hot night. Okay, so tell me about the real king.
Well, I originally did it to go in the den at the house, and that's where it hung before it went to the museum. And we have a leather sofa, an off-white leather sofa, and had these throws that we had animal print in them. Okay. And it was, believe it or not, most of my ideas something that my wife would mention to me, because I was kind of running out of ideas. She would mention an idea, but what I painted turned out to be nothing like what she thought it was going to be, because it was her idea, but it was my thought process. Mm-hmm. So I hadn't done many animals, and so I thought I'd try, you know, just to break up the monotony, I'd try something different. And this was called 3 Kings because in the animal world they talk about the lion is the king, but in human vernacular we talk about the man being the king. But when you get to Africa, I really think the elephant is the real king. That's right, because the lion will certainly don't mess with the elephant. And I thought I pulled the zebra print in, and like you know, in Africa, cloths are so vibrant and brilliant. That's kind of what the bottom corner represents.
And I sort of thought that that's maybe where the moon came from in this piece with the elephant, because it could be such a simple trite thing if he's just sitting there looking at the moon's white or silver or something, but no, you blast it with this color and it just starts to take on a whole new life.
It's something about the painting is really not working for me unless I get a lot of vibrant colors into it. Don't ask me why. It's just I just love the color. Love the color.